To accumulate for Ukraine at least 2 tank battalions, each of which can include more than 30 vehicles, is now the main task for European partners. As a first step, Germany will provide 14 Leopard 2A6 modification tanks from the warehouses of the Bundeswehr. They are planned to be transferred to Ukraine by the end of March.
We will deliver Leopard 2 battle tanks to Ukraine. This is the result of renewed intensive consultations with our allies and international partners. I would like to emphasize that it was the right decision, and the right decision on our part was not to be influenced by anyone. We look forward to close cooperation in the future.
Spain, Sweden, Portugal, the Netherlands, Poland, Finland, Norway and a number of other countries have already declared their readiness to transfer tanks to Ukraine. On January 26, Canada announced its readiness to provide Ukraine with Leopard 2 tanks. Consultations are now underway on the exact number. Also, earlier the UK decided to transfer a squadron of Challenger 2 tanks to Ukraine.
A couple of dozen tanks are not going to reverse the battlefield outcome in Ukraine. Hundreds are going to be needed. Now, the Leopard 2s can be provided in those kinds of numbers, in part because lots of different European countries operate them.
The day before, US President Joe Biden announced that he would send 31 M1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine, and according to him, this would be a significant impetus for the implementation of Kyiv's plans to return the territories occupied by Russia.
Armored capability, as General Austin will tell you, has been critical. And that's why the United States has committed hundreds of armored fighting vehicles to date, including more than 500 as part of the assistance package we announced last Friday. And today I'm announcing that the United States will be sending 31 Abrams tanks to Ukraine.
The United States immediately announced the training of Ukrainian tank crews. They also announced the provision of 8 armored vehicles M88 for the repair and evacuation. In general, the new aid package in Washington was estimated at $400 million. It is still unclear when exactly the M1 Abrams will reach the battlefield.
M1 Abrams is widely regarded as the single best main battle tank in the world today. It's been around for a long time, but it's been upgraded repeatedly over the years, and it has performed in combat against Soviet and Russian-made tanks very effectively. There's every reason to believe that it is a dramatically superior vehicle to the one the Russians are now fielding and to the ones that the Ukrainians are now fielding.
President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky noted that now the main task is the speed of training of Ukrainian military personnel and the transfer of armored vehicles to Ukraine.
Now the main thing is speed and volume, the rate of training of our military, the speed of deliveries of tanks to Ukraine, the amount of tank support. We have to form such a tank fist, such a fist of freedom, after the blows of which tyranny will no longer rise. We can do it together.
According to the Ukrainian tank soldiers, Western tanks are now needed on the battlefield. They will help both in the expected re-offensive by Russia and in the counter-offensive by the armed forces of Ukraine.
If we go out on European tanks, it will be much, well, in general, where we can take part in one-on-one duel with the enemy tank, we can take on 2. The guys are really looking forward to it because it will be, most importantly, on a psychological level, pressure on the enemy. There, firstly, another armor goes. That is, if this tank can withstand 1 or 2 hits, this is the maximum. That's all, it will not survive further. That is, a foreign tank, I think it can withstand up to 5 hits.
The rate of fire of Leopard and Abrams tanks is much better than that of Soviet-era production.
There is a loader, and this speeds up the rate of fire. If the T-64 can fire 8 shells per minute, then a foreign tank can fire about 16 shells. If one leaves for the same Leopard and against the enemy's T-72, then the T-72, for example, will have time to fire 2 shots, and the Leopard Leopard will be able to fire 4 to 5 shots already, so it is more likely to destroy it.
Ukrainian tank crews assure that switching to Western tanks will not be a problem for them, because even before the full-scale invasion they regularly trained with European colleagues and know their tactics. For example, they will be able to go into battle on a Leopard after a week of retraining, and they can learn how to repair such tanks in the field in 2 months. Reported by Serhiy Kulias, Yulia Bil, UATV News.